Good morning, GICM. Great stream today, actually. We have POLYSWIPE on. We are hosting the Foundry Videothon, and then we have JTVO on at 1:15 Eastern. But I want to get stream warmed up ahead of time, 15 minutes before we have POLYSWIPE. I do have an announcement actually to make. We're looking to kind of scale up MCG our MCG China efforts. So we have this channel here, MCG ZH. So go follow it if you speak Chinese or are from China or are focused on ICM in that region. We'd love to have you follow that show. And if you're creating content or you're clipping or translating and you speak Chinese, please let me know. We really want to up the the amount of resourcing that we're putting into MCG China. I think China is going to be an important growth region for ICM. And I believe that we're going to see entire launches from China. And so we want to make sure MCG is there and creating content for everyone in that region, but also as launches come through that region, if I'd love to see some really interesting Chinese AI startups and whatnot from mainland China that just have no access to like the capital markets, for instance, come on chain and be successful. So we're kind of getting prepared for that inevitable future. Um, but yeah, Dom, good morning.
Good morning, man. Interesting title. Is ICM heating up? It looks like it's kind of dying.
Well, you gotta sometimes manifest, right?
Maybe manifest. Yeah, there we go. Manifest hasn't there. X402 though has been heating up. I'm not sure if you've seen anything around
Yeah,
those.
X402's been wild. I actually just put out a post on it. Let me pull up a couple that we discussed yesterday, actually, that are doing quite well. One that I've been talking a lot about is weed, and we had obviously Tuna on yesterday. Great session. Tuna dove into a lot of alpha that he didn't on other previous interviews, which was really cool, and kind of just got into the mechanism a little bit for season two. But remember, season two starts Monday, and there's kind of this speculative element around weed that people will essentially buy weed to get different upgrades and whatnot, arms upgrades that they can buy, and these groups will fight against each other. So to win a 300K prize, maybe someone has to dunk 10K into weed to get those upgrades. So not sure, but so far the chart is bidding nice. I bought in around on October 16th, so a little early, around the $4 million mark, and right now we're sitting at a 7 million FDV. So kind of liking this chart. I think this is setting up. We'll see. A lot to be determined here, but with a good chunk of the supply having been burned in terms of people earning it and then spending it on upgrades, all that is being burned. Around 40% of the supply. We'll see if people buy weed on the open market and also burn it to get those upgrades and further reducing that circulating supply. So it might be an interesting play short term. But once the game is done at the end of next week, it will be like it's done. It will basically be maybe a meme coin. There may be some a future life for weed, for instance. But I know as far as Tuna mentioned that the game will be done and they'll be moving on to the next one. So Dom, you want to show 402? Is that what you got? Oh, and you're muted, but
Yeah, you can tap my screen up if you want to.
yeah, let's tap that.
Yowdy.
Holy bro.
Yeah, X402's hot, man. That's for sure. Obviously, we had a great conversation with PayAI right when they were heating up, and we were like, man, PayAI is doing great there. Right now, when it comes to the markets, anything sitting at 5-6 mil is hot. Well, they're now at 15 and a half, which is pretty crazy. So X42 is really hot. It's great to see them. They were clearly one of the leaders when it comes to innovating on this front. So I'm super glad to see that. Let me see if I have the tweet here why X402 is popping up. I believe A16Z published a article basically highlighting X402 and its usability and why it's important for agent to agent transfers, et cetera, et cetera. And that kind of is what sparked this meta. So let me no, I'm not seeing that. But let me show you something else here. Virtuals has started tweeting and promoting X402 agents on Coinbase, right? So again, like just another big player here pushing this narrative of X402. I actually haven't watched this video yet. I saw this tweet. I just bookmarked it. So maybe I'll watch this real quick and we'll see. Real quick, Josh, I'm gonna play. Let me get the thumbs up if it's volume.
The vibes.
Yeah, right. Serenity. So Coinbase has started listing a bunch of virtuals agents. That's pretty interesting. Is that a new thing?
Well, I don't know. I think it's in their best interest to list them. And we
Yeah.
know from the conversation with PayAI, Coinbase is actually the kind of leading push behind X402. So obviously PayAI was instrumental in setting that up, but Coinbase, the entity, is also behind it. So I think there's a push for that standard to be adopted. And I believe, Dom, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if we can pull up our notes. Actually, I have them right here in front of me.
Do you want me to pull them up or you got them?
Yeah, I got them here. These are the notes from our October 14th session here. And remember, below every stream, when we feature something specific, I will write a summary note so you can kind of just grab the Cole's notes and you don't have to watch the full thing. But X402 is a standard for agent-to-agent payments on the internet being adopted. So they basically, I believe, if I understand this correct, this is again a new primitive on the internet, and this is a payment request messaging protocol. And why that's significant is you need to have a common standard that developers can build on top of to allow these types of payment requests. So agent one wants to buy something from agent two, and agent one will say, okay, I agree. Now here's the payment requests, and then they can, come to that agreement and pay it, I guess. So, that was a really poor explanation, but it's basically just to make that seamless and these agents integrate with each other.
Cool. Yeah.
So yeah,
Cool stuff. Let me send real quick.
you had Robinhood up there. I don't know if.
Oh yeah. My screen's still up. You can pull that back. And yeah, those are great notes, and it's a great way to catch up if you missed the streams, if you're just keeping up with it. But yeah, on the same 402 narrative, again, virtuals is pushing this 402 narrative pretty big. Like it was mentioned, 402 and Coinbase are very tied together, and then virtuals and Coinbase are also very tied together. Robinhood's making this push. We're seeing them list a lot of cryptos, and we're not talking majors. We're talking altcoins. Really interesting here. Virtuals got listed on Robinhood. It begs the question, does this start the virtuals comeback? For a while, we had a very, very hot virtual season on base where virtuals just went up only. Anything tied to virtuals, AI specifically, this was during AI season, went up only for like weeks and months. Like it did so well. And so to have it listed on Robinhood app is like the next question. Do we see another virtual season? And will we start seeing virtuals pairs also listed on Robinhood? Will there be a section just for virtuals? I don't know, but it's something to look into. Let me see what the virtual chart looks like here. Do. Where is it? Where is it? How come I can't find it? Oh, it's virtuals the ticker. Okay. Yeah.
Do
Let's
you
see.
think virtuals would have been bigger if they were on Solana?
No,
No. Okay.
this went to 4 or 5 billion during the AI meta. Like this.
Well, what is this now?
Half. 900 million FTV. 900 million FTV. Let
Interesting.
me see. Let me see if I can find a better liquidity provider that goes back later. Looks like this one's got 1.3 mil, 1.5 here. Oh, this is oh, wait, Virtuals is on Solana. I forgot they migrated to Solana a while back after they kind of came out of their prime, but they did. So yeah, that's actually an interesting. The liquidity pool on Solana has 1.5 mil. That one does at least. Let me go to this one because base is their bread and butter. So yeah, obviously super depressed. Ran up to 5 bill here at its peak. Was super hot. We saw this wick down during the 10th, I believe that would be. Yeah, the 10th, that big liquidation event. And we bounced nicely. And then today we got our Robinhood listing news, which actually has pumped us less than I would have imagined here, 22%. But one of my favorite plays on base to kind of shift back. Maybe we have a X402 AI season, virtual season. One of my favorite plays, one of the only things I hold is serve. And Surf has been on a big dip recently, but they do a lot with agents. They do a lot with X402. I wouldn't be surprised if this kind of gets some bids, right? So this is the Ethereum pool, but they do have a base pool as well. And it's off a very nice pump yesterday. I think it was, yeah, it's up 100% nearly. So that's just a little shameless shill there for Serve. I really like Serve. It's probably the only Ethereum play I actually hold and I care about. So interesting one there.
Another one I want to put on your radar that I've been following for a while, and a friend we've had on is Wonder.
Oh
Can you
yeah,
pull up Wonder?
their chart's been jumping. Saw
Their
it today.
chart's jumping. It looks like they've created some sort of privy competitor. And I think Contra here, maybe I'll just quickly, yeah, so that's the chart. I mean, interesting. If you zoom it out a little bit, just you can see kind of that classic believe hype cycle and then
You're
kind of dead sideways forever.
You're lagging out. Oh, okay, you're back. You're back.
Yeah, sorry, the classic believe hype cycle, hype and then sideways for forever, now kind of catching some volume and some bids. So worth keeping Wonder on a watch list. But I just want to tab over to Contra here. There's this thread, Shadow Contra again, Contra on the threads. We'll give you
Contra's a great follow. Like he is a really good threader. One of the people I've been following for a while now. He's one of the few smaller accounts that will provide fantastic alpha all the time. Worth a follow, guys.
Yeah, recently acquired by Stripe. Privioth recently acquired by Stripe for 1.1 billion. Absurd founder. One key takeaway I found with this founder is he is really good at executing like different ideas and testing things and finding growth funnels that worked. And he talked in our interview, which no longer is on MCG. We got to pull him back on sometime soon and get a recording of it. But uh, basically, he talked about how he like built some listing site that had like 10K in revenue monthly, and so he's just like a really good growth hacky type developer founder. Privy costs 200 for 2,500 users. Wonder Auth costs just $5 for 5,000 users. And so I was coming through here and I'm like, okay, cool, interesting. I then came to this Wonder Auth and I see Belief Auth, Dupe Auth, Bitcoin Auth. Um, I don't know if these are integrations that have been done. Like it says live, live, live. So I don't know if there's already users or companies that have implemented this for some use case. But I mean, Believe like Dupe is a big company. Bitcoin has a bunch of users. Believe has a bunch of users. So worth keeping an eye on. Wonder just to see how this unfolds and if they start building meaningful revenues here.
I could give some lore on this. Interestingly
Please.
enough, this feature was built out because of my suggestion to Vob, and we had talked basically, and we're trying to find product market fit. And like, we see all these projects. We had talked about, I forget what the integration he was trying to make, but we talked about how all these platforms could benefit by integrating wallets into their product, right? We see Dupe, we see Bitcoin, they have hundreds of thousands, millions of users, and they're paying an insane amount of money, just like Josh said, for Privy. And I'm like, there's a huge gap in the market. All these Web 2 founders coming over, they have no idea what this Web 3 stuff is. They have no idea what Privy is. They don't want to have to focus on implementing a wallet. I said, like, I think there's a massive gap in the market when it comes to like a Privy competitor. Every Believe token should launch with built-in wallet applications. And I'm like, honestly, what you could do is build a relationship with Believe to where every time someone launches a project, they can go through Believe to instantly get integrated wallets. And I'm really glad he ended up taking that and running with it because I think it's a huge market
Did you get some
opportunity.
aloe for that advice? That's like
No,
foundational advice.
I should have, but we have been talking. I need to get him back on. I told him he can come back on anytime he wants. He said once he gets some more updates out, he will. So
Sounds
um,
good. Shout out
he
Ave.
might remember the story better. Shout out Abe, yeah.
Yeah, shout out Ave. Chat. Yeah, no, love that, Dom. That's great. Cool. What else? I mean, obviously we have pump news was pretty significant, and maybe a use case for what was this the SOAR model?
Use case for any model. I mean, think about it. Any model.
I don't know if did Nick post a tweet on it? I'm just trying to
I think he did. I haven't had the chance to save it or read it yet.
let me see if I can find it. Basically what we're discussing was pump bot Padre, which I think is a good move for. Oh yeah, here we go. I got it up here. Oh, you got it there? Okay.
This is the pump fun tweet, not the Nick quote tweet.
Okay, we'll go through this and then we'll get maybe the Nick reaction.
Cool. Do you want to play the video first or just start it
Yeah,
off? Or...
do it. Of course, we like
Yeah.
videos. I don't know, no volume, eh? Like the Matrix.
Cool video. Yeah, I mean,
with with Pump's resources, I feel like they could have done a little more there. But anyways, cool video.
Yeah, dude. No, I mean, I think you were just about to get into it. ICM run news, Ave. Okay, we'll have to look into that. I'm not. Oh, you're talking about the flywheel? Yeah, but there's no news. It's kind of an announcement of an announcement. But we can get into that, Ave. Yeah, no, Josh, I think you're about to get into it. I think this is like a natural evolution for Pump Fun. These big crypto companies should all be building out their ecosystem. And obviously for something like Pump Fun, a massive, you know, decentralized launchpad, having a trading terminal is just like the natural steps. If they can direct all their traders or a portion of their traders there, the fees that they'll be generating are insane, right? Potter probably takes a 1% fee in and out, right? That's, I think, pretty standard. I think Axiom, depending on your tier, you can work it down to like a 0.8%. But that being said, dude, these platforms are some of the highest grossing apps on chain right now. I mean, Axiom has made $500 million in their first year. You see Photon's made hundreds of millions as well. Pump Fun can build up, absolutely can build up a competitor. So however much they paid for Padre, let's say they came in at a $10 million offer. They're like, Padre, we will buy you out for 10 million bucks. Like, dude, there's so much upside here for Pump Fun. It's an absolutely great acquisition. And I think natural next steps. Now, Padre holders, I guess they have a token. I've never looked at the Padre token. I actually have never used Padre app, but they're cooked. They're
Yeah,
cooked. And
they're
that kind of
cooked.
segues us into what Josh was about to say about having token holder rights, whether that's some food turkey model, whether that's some, because remember, with
Guys,
a
let's
food,
just show the cooking, because I think this is just a little sad, to be honest with you. I need to show the cooking. It's not good.
yeah, show the
It's
cooking.
like,
Look, it's
oh
like ultimately these projects strive for either an exit or a super successful story where they make millions in fees. This happened for Padre, right? They got their exit. They made millions of bucks. I'm assuming millions of bucks from Pump Fun. Yet somehow on chain it looks like it's failed. Right?
yeah,
That's just not how it should. That's just not how it should
5
respond.
mil, the initial move to 10, and then right down to like sub 1 mil. Like, this is not a good look.
Not
Look,
a good look for who?
I think this is not a good look. In my opinion, it's not a good look for Pump. And if they're thinking about ICM and they want to make a move in this direction, I would have loved to have seen any sort of something for these token holders. Anything.
But
Like,
I think that's less on Pump and more on Padre, right? It's on Padre to take that
completely agree.
millions.
I completely agree. But at some point, the acquiring entity, which is Pump, they can set a lot of the leverage in those negotiations and can say, "Hey, this is what we think should happen," And Padre is going to be profit maximizing, of course. So they, from their point of view, they're like, why would we share anything? We want the equity holders to get all of it. But Pump could said, hey, we think you have a token. Like, how do you want to wrap that up? I don't know. It just, in my opinion, it just kind of doesn't taste right. And I'm not a Padre user, I'm not a Padre holder, but it would have been nice to see some sort of cutout here, either an airdrop of stables, or I don't know, anything, just to reward those holders. Because this is like, you're at yesterday, you go to bed, you're like, Padre is a sick app, I love using it, I own the token, and I've acquired it to be in certain fee tiers. You get the acquisition, you wake up this morning and your thing's gone to zero.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
It sucks. It sucks. And I mean, that's what highlights the importance of equity anchored tokens. Because look, this is the whole crux, right? You strive for these exits and then you get a piece back. And that's what Nick says here. And you can kind of read through that or talk through it if you want.
The tweet here says the Padre token will no longer have utility on the platform with no further plans for the future. I mean,
Look,
okay.
from a business standpoint, Pump Fun is making the right business move.
Of
But
course, yeah. I
but
mean, vertically integrating this stuff for Pump, as a Pump holder, I love this. This is
yeah,
great. I don't own any Padre, so for me, I'm like, great. But I just, it's the kind of doing right in the ecosystem that I'm more concerned about. Look, Pump has a huge treasury, $2 billion. For them to tack an additional 500K onto the acquisition and just airdrop it to all the holders as a cut or a royalty or whatever, and enforce that in the acquisition terms, I feel like is like a nothing. And yet it sends way more signal to the ecosystem of like, hey, this is how ICM is going to happen on our platform going forward.
I wonder if another angle they could have taken too is your value in Padre tokens. Maybe you don't get the full thing, right? But right now it's at $1 million market cap. So they would essentially need $1 million. They're buying back $1 million of Pump Fund tokens every single day, right? So it's not much of a thing for them to say, hey, one day of buying back Pump Fund tokens, we'll just actually exchange at a rate that's 1-to-1, 1-to-half, whatever of Padre
Yeah.
Pump Fund, and then you at least get some sort of upside on Padre still if you have a long-term bet on it. Because ideally what happens here now with Padre is Padre cooks, it starts making money like ICM and Photon. Pump Funds added another $250 million to their annual earnings. And some of that goes back to buying back the Pump token, right? And it's good for the ecosystem, good for Pump Fund. Pump Fund makes a bunch of money. Like it's a win-win. Of course, this is a natural acquisition that they should be doing. And big ups to Elon for this because it's great. But yeah, I don't know. I think there could be some compensation to Padre holders, maybe just to avoid like the hate and backlash that might come from it. But I think it falls
Yeah.
more on Padre than Pump, and I don't even
I
blame
you're
Padre honestly either.
you're not wrong. It's just, Pump could have set an expectation here, in my opinion. But anyways, one of the key things here from SOAR and the crux of this kind of tweet thread is when an acquisition happens on SOAR, a company needs to pay SOAR a percentage proportional to how many tokens are outside of the custodial wallet. In this case, 10%. And so the model on launch at SOAR is 90% of tokens are held in the custodial wallet and 10% is circulating, which is a really small circulating amount of tokens. Um, I don't know what you think of that. Oh, here's a specific example. So let's say Padre was acquired for 10 million. 1 million would have to be paid to SOAR if they wanted to reduce that debt from 10 to 9%, for example. They can buy 1% of the tokens off the open market and put them into the custodial wallet. I don't know if I fully understand that.
Why would they buy the tokens though if the tokens are going to be valueless now? That just seems like unnecessary dilution. I would think the better option would be taking the million from the acquisition and just pro rata dispersing it to your holders, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I'm
buying
not.
back a token that's now valueless is
I think we might have SOAR on soon, so maybe we'll get some clarification of this mechanism and example from them directly next week. But yeah, it's either way. I think there's a better way of doing this. I mean, if it was MetaDAO, would the revenues or acquisition fees not have to come through the
so
DAO?
with that it would go directly to the treasury, right? So Pump Fund would have to pay the treasury, let's say $10 million for the acquisition, And that $10 million, then it's the choice of the holders what to do with it. Obviously, if the token's now valueless, they would just say, okay, well, we're taking that $10 million and dispersing it pro rata to everyone. Right. And so that's how that would work. And then it's in the best interest of the owner of the token. Let's say Padre was launched on MetaDAO. It would be in the best interest of the Padre team to have as much supply as possible. So when that sale does happen, they get a pro rata share equivalent to what they hold. So obviously a team doesn't want to pay top dollar for their own token. So I guess there would be an interesting way. Yeah, a different way to structure that where maybe they only sold 10% equity in this case, like 10% equity to holders, and the holders would get the 10% of the equity tradable on the market, and then 90% of the acquisition would go back to the team, and the other 10% would go back to the holders because that's what's circulating. Yeah, but so in MetaDAO's case, to answer your question, what would happen is Pump Fund buys Padre. The $10 million for the purchase of Padre goes into the treasury, and now it's up for a vote on what happens for that, right? Maybe the team raises a vote. Hey, we want to keep $1 million. We think we worked hard for it. This acquisition was big, whatever. It gets voted on. Team keeps $1 million. The rest of the 9 million gets dispersed pro rata to holders, right? And that's what happens in that case. So like, yeah, with a different model, Padre holders aren't left in the dust. So this was a very powerful moment, I think, to demonstrate that. So sorry, guys. Sorry if you're a Padre holder. Huge for Padre, though. Like, I think Padre's probably going to blossom from this point forward. I think Pump Fund probably pushes it, and they should. And it's a huge unlock for Pump Fund.
Yeah. The other news, I don't know if this is notable, but Launchcoin delisted from Hyperliquid. I don't know if you have a take on that.
Yeah, let me pull up the chart. So I saw some FUD about that. This happened this morning, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah,
did.
so I haven't really looked into it too much. So I got my tab up. Probably a good buy though. Again, like I don't necessarily think these perp dexes are beneficial for tokens. I don't. Like you just get a ton of leverage trading in either direction. I really don't think it's actually beneficial for the token at all. So, and maybe I'm missing something. I'm not like the perp dex expert. I don't trade perps at all because there's no reason to. But that being said, what do I think about it? I mean, they have to move off perp dexes, so I'm not sure what that looks like or what that conversation looks like. Um, Dap says, Passion I hate CT, so probably won't know for a month. Probably won't know. Know what? But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna relist Believe. Launchcoin and Believe are two different tokens. Do they delist Launchcoin and relist Believe once this Believe token is fully live? I don't know. But I guess it would be nice to have it on Hyperliquid. Like that would be. We want some perp trading platforms. Pastor Mac HCT, he probably won't know for a month plus that it's getting delisted. Yeah, well, I'll tell you the internal conversations. He's the team is aware from what I'm seeing. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
we Stig, I can't remember the take Stig had on this, but they were aware of. I think it would it not have been better to instead list the Believe perps and then sunset the Launchcoin ones in a month or something?
yeah, I mean, yeah, but there's a lot of our like arbitrage opportunity gets opened up there. Then there's two tokens trading. I think that was kind of their point. They wanted to avoid doing anything until there was just one token on the market. So yeah, I mean,
Tough.
yeah. So I don't know. I guess some perp platforms are going to get delisted, and then, like I said, they would just close out the current position. People would get their money based on where their personal trade, and then others will actually be relisted on the perp exchanges depending on which exchange. So I think this is probably oversold. Ultimately, we're leading into the flywheel here. We're less than a week out. They've been hyping this thing up, so they better deliver something special
And
here.
they got 20 million in cash.
Which is a big thing, right? 20
Yeah.
million cash. That's something.
We
Um,
sent a link to PolySwipe, right?
we did. I'm not getting a response. They might be a no-show.
Okay.
Sucks for them if that's the
Yeah,
case.
if you're in PolySwipe telegrams or something or on X, hit them up. 115 is the next segment, so
Yeah, they might be cooked at this point.
they
I
might be
honestly,
cooked.
bro, we can just get JTVO now and have them on later if they want. We got a hard stop at 150 because we got this Videothon here, which is going to be fun. It's going to be a little different from our normal streams, not a ton of just alpha. It's going to be sit back, relax, watch a bunch of videos that were submitted from the Foundry Videothon and give away 50 SOL. So, you know, it's going to be pretty fun. But maybe bump JTVO. We can get them up if Luca's ready right now.
Yeah, I'll message him.
And that way, if POLYSWIPE does come back and jump on, they can kind of get the later portion of
what
this.
other charts? Do we want to throw up ICM? Just kind of go through.
Yeah, I definitely want to throw up ICM, man. I hit my buy zone and bounced. Pretty nice.
Woo! Look at that. That's beautiful.
Yeah. I think there's literally a quote from the last stream of me saying if we get below this 13 million mark or 14 million mark, I forget exactly what I said, I'll probably be buying an unhealthy amount. Did I have limits? No. Did I buy an unhealthy amount? No. So I actually didn't.
BLMMM some in? Come on.
No, and I should have, Josh. I should have. I have a very big bag of ICM right now, so it's like
yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely add more, I guess, if we come back down in this range again. I mean, we talked about it's pretty obvious at this point that they got Elon on as a mentor, right? Like that's what it seems like. And actually, Ave reminded me they did put out an update on their flywheel. So let me do.
Oh yeah, let's pull that up.
Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Okay, so you guys see the screen here? Yeah, perfect. So, Mercy teased this little graphic. And by the way, their graphic designer is sick, bro. I love the work he does. But little flywheel kind of looks like the Believe wings, kind of looks like the Believe wheel, looks like the Believe sky. This is basically, they ripped it from the Believe. It's kind of funny. But that being said, let's see. Oh, is this the tweet? No, where is the thread? Is it just down here? Okay, whatever. He just literally tweeted this out with a GICM. But that being said, is this not in order?
Has he teased anything about this publicly?
No.
Okay.
So, but here's the news. So basically, Mercy says there's going to be a flywheel for the ICM token. Okay. What that's going to look like is unclear, but he does say a bunch of what it's not going to be and what it's going to be. So I'll read through that here. He said, we'll publish a full research document regarding how ICM flywheel will work and how we plan to make holders of the ICM liquid immediately. Okay. Take note of that. How we plan to make holders of ICM liquid immediately. So basically, he's saying if you're holding ICM, our main goal right now is to get you your money back as soon as possible. Right? If you invested $1,000, we want to make sure you get $1,000 in flywheel value dispersed to you immediately. So you don't have to sell your ICM token. You can hold your ICM token and you're liquid with that money, right? That's the goal. Okay. He says what this won't be is a bogus, valueless vapor document designed to confuse the reader, a timeless grift to get views. Oh, is he taking shots? Who's timelessly grifting about a flywheel?
Zoom in.
This will not be bogus values vapor document designed to confuse readers. This will not be a timeless grift to get views. But what it will be is the first of its kind value capture of deal flow that has lined the pockets of few individuals in Web3 for years. Okay, I'm going to read that again. The first of its kind value capture of deal flow that has lined the pockets of a few individuals in Web3 for years. Okay, so we're hearing about a pretty exclusive thing that's worked and made a lot of people money for a few years, but hasn't been happening to you because you're not one of these people, right? So he's going to introduce that. Next, a primitive that when executed correctly will make our holders immediately liquid without sacrificing any of their ICM token. So again, back to that thing we just talked about. It's going to be a primitive that, if executed correctly, will make their holders of the ICM token liquid without sacrificing their ICM token. So again, it's like, hey, I hold $1,000 of ICM token. ICM DAO says, okay, cool. We want to get you $1,000 in your hand as soon as possible. USDC, Solana, whatever it is. We want you to be liquid with that money. So as long as you hold ICM, you're going to keep getting money back. It's valuable for you. A truly DAO approach to democratize the value of deal flow. Okay, that's an interesting piece because he gives us a little bit of insight on what it's going to be, right? A truly DAO approach to democratizing the value of deal flow. Now, what's interesting there is we know ICM.run has very powerful deal flow. They have probably the best deal flow, maybe in crypto. Maybe in crypto. I would say probably not as good as Solana, probably not good as good as Pump Fun. But if they do have ALA on there, they do have that deal flow from Pump Fun. So like ICM DAO does truly have some of the best deal flow in the world. So how can they accrue value from their deal flow and put that back in holders' hands? That's the question. I'm not sure what that means, but that seems to be the value accrual mechanism. Okay. Mercy says, to be clear, all of the other value accrual models will still coexist. Whales still get whale opportunities. NFT owners still get airdrops plus rewards. The DAO will still grow its treasury with projects joining post-TGE. The DAO will still grow its treasury with projects we incubate. This new flywheel, though, will be a completely new primitive on capturing the value of the deal flow our DAO is, plus we'll receive and put that in the hands of the holders of ICM, completely liquid. Okay, let me read that again. This new flywheel, though, nice wording there, Mercy. Come on. This new flywheel, though, will be a completely new primitive on capturing the value of the deal flow our DAO is. Plus, we'll receive and put. Okay, I think it's worded a little funny, but ideally, keywords here: capturing the value of deal flow from our DAO is, I think, what he's trying to get across here. So the deal flow the
He
DAO
didn't use
receives.
Grok at all on this.
He
He
didn't.
just wrote it.
This is my dev, man, just getting his
Yeah.
thoughts out here. But I think the idea there is the deal flow that the DAO gets, which we know is immense, will somehow be used to put the money back in the hands of holders. So deal flow, whatever money they make from deal flow, will probably go back to holders in some way. Maybe not all the money, but some portion, right? When I tell you nobody will be able to copy this, this is completely ours. I've spent the last 5 days straight getting this concept audited, and everyone I've shown it can't believe it's never been implemented before. The main reason is the money that we're capturing is massively and usually lines the pockets of the 10 people in the space. Power back to the fucking people. DAO's mode. And I'll go ahead and like all of these because I like how this sounds. So this is an announcement, right? It's an announcement. We don't actually know what this means, but bullish. He puts this out and we sell down to 12 million. Come on, guys, embarrassing. But
Embarrassing. All right.
it seems like we sold off before this came out.
Yeah. These are old candles that you're looking at that brought
Mhm.
us down. But low key. So if you think about Mercy's background, he worked in venture, Animoca, etc. Again, not AI tweet. Yeah, Andrew said you're right. He didn't use Grok, but that's our dev.
Is that bullish?
That's bullish. That's bullish chat for sure. But basically, what he's doing is he's taking what a VC would do: get preferential deal flow, preferential pricing, get their money in first, get the bring these projects to market, incubating them. That's what it is, an incubator. And then he's saying, okay, we're going to share that performance or that value out to the ICM holders rather than these VC funds getting that deal flow, which was historically happened in the 2020 run specifically. So from 2020 to like 2024, there was a huge rash of Web3 gaming, AI, I don't know, NFT stuff, like DeFi, all these types of companies came to market, and the first money into all of these, because ICOs were illegal, was venture capital. And some of those funds made huge amounts of money because as soon as their tokens were liquid, they were selling it into the market when they were able to actually do that. And they made out like bandits, right? And that's all private capital. You're if you think about who's in a VC fund, it's credit investors, et cetera. So now we have a way to democratize this. I think this mechanism is like, okay, great. We want to give that carried interest, is what venture capitalists call it, which is the money they make from these incubations. We want to give it back to the ICM holders. You get money then as an ICM holder to go do other things and reinvest it in crypto or
Reinvest
pay
in
your
ICM.
bills, reinvest into ICM, and you don't have to sell your ICM tokens that have performed well. And to get access to this I don't want to call it income, but to get access to these royalties or payouts, you have to hold the ICM token and stake it likely. So I think that's amazing.
Well, we kind of have this moment here where we're just chilling. And by the way, I like this. I'm actually kind of glad PolySwipe didn't show up. This is cool, just going back and forth, shooting the shit. And if you guys are in the chat, want to, have any questions, want to talk about anything, like we're good for a little while. It looks like we got Luca in here, but
Yeah, we
let's
do
take
have
a quick.
Lucas. Sorry, Luca. We may have been a little premature. I didn't realize you would join right away.
Let's take a quick moment though to shout out some of our clippers and team, because I'm looking here in Twitter management and we got Ashash talking to us about there's no guest. You wanted me to just clip up you guys just chatting, and we're like, sure. Ashash, man, has been on top of this game. I gotta give a shout out to him because he is in our streams live
Yeah.
clipping every stream, just live getting it, and he's been doing great work. So Ashash has been great. You guys should shoot him a follow. He puts out some awesome clips. Not all of these go on the MCG account, right? These are personal. And I don't know, he gets some really good clips. So shout out Ashash, man.
Zoom in is X. I think we need to do a Clipper appreciation post this month at some point. So
Yeah,
we'll
we do.
tailor all of them and make sure that you guys go and follow them. We also have other contributors. So we have a Dread. So shout out Dread. Dread is he helps us put together posts, and he's very good at breaking down concepts into like a tweet like thread that gets appended to our video content. So we want to make sure you guys go follow Dread as well because he has really good stuff. But yeah, we're gonna kind of highlight our people. Yeah, Aisha shutout. ICMJ obviously got the Solana follow, so we've been working with ICMJ. We have some people over at MCG China that we're starting to scale up. So a lot of really great people coming around ICM.
Richie as well. Richie's been
Yeah,
putting in work
Richie.
here recently. Let me see if I can find
So
Dread's
if you want
account.
to clip or create content with MCG stuff, you're allowed to do that. We have a folder of all our assets that you can use, but then just we'll add you to a clipping channel, a private channel. So just DM one of us and we'll make sure you get on there.
Yes, sir. Also shout out Daniel. I think he's done a few clips as well.
Yeah.
Man, I don't have Dread's Twitter handle on deck here. It's all good. That being said, guys, let's get Luke up here and talk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
JTVO.
JTVO.
All right. Luca.
Hello.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Yeah.
Welcome.
Nice. We get to talk again. The last time you came on, you showed us the product, you pulled up some stuff, showed us how it worked. It was cool. I think the biggest takeaway was, man, Luca's working on a lot. Like he's a hardworking dev, but it seems like everything's not connected. And so we got you back on today. I think you've been working on some cool new things. I am excited to talk again. We want to just hear how everything's kind of connected, what JTVO has been working on, and give it another run here. So it's been a little while, so we're excited to get back into it. Luca, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good. So yeah, we got some updates. We got a lot of stuff behind that's still cooking, and something is still coming.
Cool. Let's. I guess we might as well start this just like a full interview, like we did last time. We got some time here, so we might as well. Luca, maybe start with you for those that haven't actually, listened to the first stream we did. Let's kind of start again. Who are you, Luca? How did you get into crypto? How did you get into coding and AI? And yeah, just tell us about yourself, bro.
Right. It's maybe just starting previously in crypto. I started in maybe 2017, and I started DeFi in 2020, and I have Telegram groups before I launched GTVO. So I had around 4,000 members in Telegram group, and it's still in meme trends. It's like we trade memes. We have a lot of alpha in there, and I quit crypto in early 2025 when Trump and Millennium peak, and then I'm all into AI, and I built a lot of stuff. And when ICM comes in, people tag me, hey, you have a lot of product, you built maybe 20 product at a time, and just launched it. So I launched GTVO. It's around maybe early June. I didn't tell about people. Hey, I make a project. I didn't tell. I just still launch about it, and yeah, boom! It caught attention. The idea is, I've been in AI. I use early adoption of the ChatGPT in late 2022. At the time, I used ChatGPT 3 years, and then big many things comes in the AI space, like Chinese launched the DeepSeek, and a lot of open source model come in, and it is has the proving way that the open source model that can beat the giants. I mean, if maybe United States or the West people developers always use OpenAI or cloud, which cost, let's say, $10 per 1 million token, whereas the Chinese model or open source model that only costs maybe two or $1 per 1 million token. Which is it has 80% discount price compared with the closed model. So that I
Luca
think.
and Roka,
So,
could you explain that concept? Because when you say token, you're not talking about like a token that's
all
tradable on
right.
the market. Can you kind of just explain what a token is and how JTVO is cheaper than the models is what you're trying to say, right?
Right. A
Competitors.
token is like a currency in the AI or LLM. Let's say you type, "Hey, what is ICM?" It's just like 10 until 20 words, which means 20 token. But when the AI responds, it can break down maybe a lot of paragraph. Let's say it give you 1,000 of words, which means 1,000 tokens. And when you make an agentic AI, it's like say you make a code, it can consume up to 1 million token. The response,
Jeez.
it will cost you that stuff. So it's like a currency of the token of the AI or LLM.
Thanks for that. Yeah, you can keep going. I just want to make sure people understood that.
Yeah, and it is kind of the currency from the LLM. When you are using ChatGPT, let's say you are paid a fixed subscription, $20 per month, but when you build an apps, let's say there is a lot of AI stuff in the ICM, let's say AFO or another AI stuff, Orgo and other things. They use APIs from the LLM provider, let's say OpenAI, Cloud, Google Gemini. They charge you when you use their service. It's based on the token you consume. And when the open source model come in, and it can be comparable with the closed models from the giants, like from the OpenAI or Google, you can definitely just download the model and run inside your GPUs. It's like playing a games. You download the model, you put in your GPUs. When you type something, it run in your GPUs, and it's completely free. If you have the infrastructure, let's say now you have a MacBook M2 Pro, M4 Pro, let's say even in iPhone 17 Pro Max, it can run LLM locally. You don't need to pay the OpenAI, and I just invest infrastructure like GPUs, like $5,000 of GPU. It can completely make your AI workflow free. You don't need to
Mm,
pay the LLM token. So the idea is I put the LLM inside my server and I just resell it, and it works. I put the open source model that has the same capabilities with Cloud Sonnet. Let's say I don't need to pay $10 per 1 million token. It's completely free, and I
mm.
host it and I just launch it. People know, hey, this guy launched DeepSeek inside their computing power, and it's faster compared with ChatGPT, because when you use ChatGPT, you compete with 800 million people in this planet. When you use JTVO, it is more exclusive. That's why it's being cheaper and also faster.
Okay, this is pretty fascinating. I think that was a really great breakdown here. So to explain, just to recap what Luca just said here, basically he puts these open source LLM models, right, called Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, into his own hardware. From there, now it's in his own our hardware. He can get this for free of cost because he has the hardware. He then charges people to use that hardware, and essentially because they're competing in an environment with a lot less users, it's faster and it's cheaper because he's got it at zero cost. He's got it for free, and then he can charge whatever he wants. And again, he's keeping it 90% lower than competition. Am I understanding that correctly, Luca?
Yeah. It's very correct. And the open source model itself is always evolving. And the last time I just update the GTVO platform is DeepSeek OCR. the OCR things is optical recognition. It's like when you uploaded file or images in ChatGPT. Let's say you have this picture, you screenshot it, and you upload it to ChatGPT. It will give you all the text, right? It gives you the context. Hey, please type or what is this image, and it's just a fixed subscription for the end user. Let's say you pay $20 for per month. But when you build an apps and you want your apps to recognize the image, it will cost you maybe 3 until 5 cents per query. I mean, when you upload it, it costs you 3 until 5. And the DeepSeek just released DeepSeek OCR, which is has the same capabilities like that. And I just uploaded JTVO is slash OCR, JTVO.ai slash OCR, where we host the DeepSeek OCR, and it can compete with that kind of models. And it has proven some people
And
already.
are you sharing that screen? Did you just pull that up?
Oh wait, I can share screen here.
Yeah, feel free to share screen. I'll toggle it on. Right now, I just have your Neo clouds for AI builders.
All right. Okay. Can you see my screen?
There
Sorry.
you go. Yeah.
Can you see?
Yeah,
Can you see
perfect.
it?
Perfect.
Right.
We can.
Okay. So let's say you have you build an apps where your users upload this kind of image, and your apps will read all of the text here, and it will convert to the text. Let's say it's the same way when you upload a photos or pictures inside ChatGPT. As developers or as the apps developer, when you use OpenAI as the LLM API key here, they will charge you maybe 5 cents per image you uploaded into the server. And the DeepSeek just released the model. It's called DeepSeek OCR, and we can host it if we have GPUs or infrastructure. It is completely free. You just charge by the electricity if you plug in your GPUs. It is. It will be very beneficial when you have several hundreds of pages when you upload it and you want to convert into text, and it's very cheap and it's pretty fast. Is it that's the last update of JTVO?
So JTVO is almost like a data center, and then it plugs in these LLMs, and because it's able to plug in these LLMs to its hardware, it can give people really great cost and really great speed. Would you say then one of JTVO's big focus is scaling up their hardware, scaling up their GPUs, creating data centers, etc.?
Yeah. We have GPUs, we have a data center. We try to leverage all of the open source model that comes in, but mostly it's from DeepSeek, Alibaba and also some of another open source model. And it's always evolving. There is something new every week. There is something new every month, and that's why we try to catch up. And if you ever heard about Mistral OCR, Mistral is the AI from France, from
Okay.
Europe. It costs maybe if you upload it like this, let's say 1,000 pages, it costs you maybe $10 or $15. And when you use this kind of open model, if you have infrastructure, if you have GPUs, it's completely free because there is no company will charge you. They open source the model, you download it, you upload it into your server, and you can use it freely.
Can I ask a quick question around this? Like, why do you think? So I understand why AI labs are open sourcing these models, but would they not want to stop people from basically running their own compute and just offering it themselves, like undercutting their pricing?
All right. As far as I know, the big models, when the open source, it definitely they have a service behind the scene. Like Alibaba, when they release the open source model, they have service from the government for the enterprise. Hey, I have the model. You can run it. You can run your infrastructure. But if you don't have, you can use our cloud like that.
Okay. Okay, I don't know if I fully understood that, but maybe another question is how much money have you guys made essentially offering the similar types of services as my OpenAI subscription, but doing it more cost effective? Like, have you made do you have like customers that are signed up every month?
Yeah, can you open JTVO.ai/analytics? So I make it transparent, the daily users and the token consume. JTVO.ai/analytics.
.ai dash analytics.
Slash, not dash, slash analytics.
Okay. Do you mind just dropping that in the private chat? If you type it
Yeah,
out. Oh yeah, perfect. I see it there. Okay.
all right. Open
Yeah,
it.
we're gonna open this up. I'm really keen to understand like all this here. Okay. All right. So here we go. Here's your analytics. You want to walk us through this?
Yes, yes. So there is a total token consumed that is 250 million. Let's say when you use OpenAI, just times it $10, it's around $2,500 a cost of the LLM. But my users only pay maybe fraction of cost. It's maybe just less than $500 for it.
Right. So why not okay, so OpenAI would charge $10 per million tokens, right? Is that what you said?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And you're charging how much per million?
Around
$1.
two until $4 per 1 million. It depends on the model.
Right. $2 to $4 per million, right?
Yes.
That's what you said? Okay. Gotcha. All right. I'm just trying to understand. And is this like what time frame is this over? Is this to date? Like how
You can scroll it. There is a token
oh
consumption.
here we go.
Oh wow,
So
look
Yeah.
at that.
so in the early GTVO, it is only chat platform. So JTVO.ai/chat, which is like a chatbot only. But in August or July, we developed the APIs. So a developer can use our APIs to run all of the tools that they need. Let's say you want to build apps, agentic apps, trading apps. When you need the LLM token, let's say you usually using OpenAI LLM token, and you can switch into JTVO APIs.
So since the beginning of October here, you've really seen this huge increase. So you've made since the beginning of October or like end of September, is it fair? You said you made $500, or how much have you made doing this since this kind of went parabolic?
All right. So this is the people that register and they use our APIs. They top up around $10 until $50 per user. They paid, and but mostly our revenue comes from enterprise. It is not disclosed here because it's kind of is a sensitive data. We don't disclose the revenue from the enterprise, but it's mostly from the developers that they use our APIs. Mostly, do you ever heard Cursor?
Cursor?
Cursor, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know what it does, but I've heard of it.
yeah. It is a great startup where you can type code inside your IDE. I mean, you can type something and it will build the code for you. It is the same way they implement our API inside that kind of Cursor without paying $20.
Got it.
Interesting. And I think we had an interesting conversation earlier, and you said the side of your business that's really making the money is the private side, where it's private companies. Can you kind of talk about that? Because one thing you told me that kind of blew my mind when we had these conversations was that these private companies, they can't use OpenAI or they can't use ChatGPT. They have to use different hardware because ChatGPT will take their data, and these companies have all the sensitive data that's going through these LLMs, and it just can't be public. And so for you, and I'll let you explain this, I think you were saying it's very beneficial for these projects to come to you and say, JTVO, come to our site, install hardware for us, and put your SDK, your technology in here so that we can have basically our own custom LLM for our company. Can you explain that, or am I getting that right?
Yeah. So when developers or people like me that doesn't care about the data, we use that kind of the OpenAI things. But when companies they want to proceed the internal document, let's say they want to scan the tender document, they want to chat with their knowledge wisdom inside their companies or their private user data, they can't really use that OpenAI. They need to set up the server inside their office so they can like using ChatGPT inside their companies, but without sending the data to the other parties. So the idea is we put our GPUs inside the companies. We sell the GPUs inside the companies, and we set up the chatbot. We set up a lot of stuff like connecting the database into the chatbot. So it is kind of setting up the ChatGPT inside the office, inside the companies, but it will not leak the data. Most of them is the like a law firm. Law firm is very strict that they don't want to use the ChatGPT. They really because even if you want to download the presentation or the data, it's only in their server. It's not the partner inside the law firm. They can't really download the file. It's only in their server. That's why it's very restricted when you use ChatGPT or something. It's very restricted. So they need to develop their own their data center, but it's not really big. I mean, the investment value may be only 10K until 20K per project.
And so this means that they have much more secure data. Their data is not going anywhere. When they're using your product, it's cheaper than ChatGPT, and also it's trained on their company's database, right? So if I'm a real estate company, it has all my properties in there, and it can kind of give me personalized outputs every time.
Yeah. Let's say you have like a database of your property, and you don't want to upload it in ChatGPT. Maybe your management, hey, don't upload this into ChatGPT. They will use our data to train. Even if they don't really train your data, but there is a regulation when the AI company will have a data retention up to 5 years. It means they can open your data if they have rights from judges from the United States.
That makes sense.
I can share something to you again about
please. Yeah. Anything else you want to put on screen here? Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. So it's called ID. It's like for code. It's most developer using VS Code back then before the cursor. So how JTVO works? It is you need to zoom in. I can't zoom my screen. So here, can you see it is inference the JTVO here?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, okay, you can talk over it, but I can't zoom it in anymore.
Yeah. So like I said, that JTVO provide APIs on it. I will open. Wait, I will open JTVO first. Okay. Wait. JTVO. Right. So if you scroll inside the JTVO.ai, there is some available models here. Friend 3-coder, GPT-OS as another. It is like one APIs. You can use all these models, and you can use these models. First, you can build your own apps, and you hit our APIs, or you can open VS Code that like a students or developer, and they connect the APIs into the VS Code into our server. Let's say like this, and you use it to make something. Let's say I make a website that's I just type hey, make a website about ICM, and it will render the code automatically, and it run like this. It is like maybe make a website or any other things. Depends on your project. It is just for example that hey, make me about the ICM decentralized finance, and it will render the code here automatically using our
so
API.
this is the cursor thing you were talking about.
Yes. You don't pay. You didn't have to pay the subscription. This is like a pay as you go.
So this is pretty interesting because when I had taken a step back and I was looking at JTVO, it was kind of hard to follow because it felt like every day, every other day, you were coming out with a new product, image generation, website generation, all these different things. And now that I'm stepping back and kind of this has been great for my understanding, it really seems like you have to do this because it's an offering that you want to offer. And so basically you're making a hub for AI where you can do anything at a cheaper, more secure, and quicker rate than the apps themselves, like Claude, like Cursor, like ChatGPT, Gemini, etc. Am I getting that right? You're basically an AI hub for everything with fast, secure, cheaper rates.
Yes. So the token consumption it comes from people using our APIs to put inside the VS Code, and they hit our APIs. Let's say it is really it is doing the code. It's like a being a code assistant. I just make me a website about MCG hosting ICM project internet capital market. It will render the code automatically, and it is like you just sit and the results is comes within a minutes. Like
Feel
that.
free to build an MCG website. We don't have one yet.
It really
Yeah.
can.
So my question, Luca, would be: this is obviously like a no-brainer for a lot of companies. Like I'm just sitting here thinking about it. Yes, I would rather have a cheaper access to LLM. Yes, I'd rather have cheaper access to image gen. Yes, I'd rather have cheaper access to Claude. Like all these things, it feels like it's pretty obvious for these companies to do it cheaper, more secure, faster. Why aren't they? And how can you? Well, I guess they are. I can see your numbers are growing here, but how do you go and get this in their hands? How do you go and? I think the disconnect here is they just don't even know that this is an option available, right? I think once they figured out this was an option available, they'd probably want to sign up. So I guess two questions here is how do you go and get this in people's hands? Number one, and then number two, how is the response from these companies when you bring it to them? Have you been seeing that most of them are pretty receptive and open to implementing your kind of technology when they find out how it works?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people that I met, especially the developers, mostly they are not agnostic about these things. I mean, they only know about the OpenAI and they only know about cloud Anthropic. So the mode or the opportunity here, a lot of people doesn't know yet about these models, these open models. Wait, uh, need to close.
Yeah, we
Right.
can hear your Telegram or something in the
Yeah, yeah.
background.
I just close it. There is a lot of spam when the price or the markets try to come. A lot of people like spamming. Back in about the use case, about the opportunity, a lot of stuff. A lot of people that I present. Hey, what AI model that you use? All right, we use OpenAI. We use GPT models. Do you ever know about the Alibaba QN, Kimi, Moonshoot, or GPT OSS that GPT has the open model? They don't really know. It is very easy to convert them into our product because I just hey just switch into our APIs. Your LLM cost will reduce up to 80%. It is very easy, but at some market, let's say Korean market, when I try to pitch this product into Korean, there is a stigma when they use DeepSeek, their data will go into China. It is the challenges when we talk.
Which is a real problem. I think it was Samsung or one of the big Korean companies leaked out some very private internal IP documents because they were prompting it in AI and asking the AI to like optimize their process. But it leaked out like how they built like their engines or something for an airplane. Like I don't know, I don't remember the scenario, but it was a big issue. And now their IP is out on the internet. So it's a
Yeah,
very real problem.
yeah. Some of country the government is very strict in the board data. I mean, they restrict it when the companies using the AI that process the data outside their nation. So they have a program to make their own data center and they put the open source model. So some countries is really very strict about their data protection.
This has been pretty interesting. Let me get an idea on this conversion rate, right? So let's say you go to 10 companies with this. You said they're pretty receptive to it. Out of 10 companies, how many would be willing to make the switch based on what you've seen?
Less than 30%. The conversion rate is very low, but when it's have a deal, we talk about the enterprise, right? But for the developers, I can say 80% people will convert to us. But for the enterprise, it's very tricky because they have a lot of due diligence for new vendor. So I can say for from 10 enterprise that we approach is only have a deals 1 until 3 companies. But for the developers, let's say even if Web3 developers, when I pitch them, hey, all right, we will use your APIs because they already know how it works. but they don't really know, oh, it is exists.
So, okay, that's really interesting. The devs understand it. They maybe don't do as much due diligence as the enterprises. How do you, I guess then the factor is like trust, right? These enterprises just need to trust you. That's the number one thing. How do you build that trust factor with these enterprises?
uh the most of trust comes in with the previous works, with previous projects. So we said, hey, we have these clients you can check to most of them is have the connection with the previous clients.
Okay. No, that makes sense. I think that's the interesting conversation there because 80% of devs it's clicking for. You talk to a dev, they implement it 8 out of 10
Yeah,
times. You
yeah,
talk to an enterprise, maybe 1 in 3 convert. So like that's just an interesting conversation, something to really think about
Which
as
is
a
actually
business.
a very good conversion
Yeah,
ratio, just so you know.
nice. I actually didn't. I had no idea. But what does the competition look like in this? What's the competitive landscape? Are you seeing a lot of other people try to do this? Are you seeing people succeed with this at a high level, or are you pretty much solo?
uh, I thought it will very competitive in the ICM space, but I don't really see a similar product or similar project that's coming. I saw there is a one project that pretty similar, but they don't really maybe host in their own GPUs. There is kind of, let's say, you build a vending machine. You build a vending machine when you offer this model like from the OpenAI, from cloud, from Google with one APIs. But JTVO have the vending machine and their own factories. So it's like pulling a Coca-Cola with from our own factories. It's kind of like that. We have one APIs for all of models, but this models is running inside our GPUs, not just wrappers.
I love that. I love that example you gave. Right. So it's like there's a vending machine, which is the GPUs. Like the GPUs are a vending machine, and then inside the vending machine are each model. Right.
Yeah,
Claude,
yeah,
OpenAI, image generator. Now you're saying, well, we own the vending machine and we own the items inside the vending machine
yeah,
rather than someone doing just one piece of that puzzle.
yes. But since the beginning, we won't host or we won't put the cloud, OpenAI, or Google, because when we talk about decentralization, you don't want to put that giants or the closed model. You need to talk about the open source models.
This is an interesting
So
tweet, Josh. What do you have pulled up here? Exciting
I,
things coming with Meteor next week. When was this posted? On October 23rd. Oh, yesterday. Nice. You got to
yeah,
give us here. Give
yeah,
us some
I
out.
mean, you started talking about it here, Luca, on this tweet. Would you like to elaborate on this?
yeah, we just had a video take with Meteora Collective
Nice.
2 weeks ago, and we will release the videos next week.
Cool. Meteor Collective is doing the Lord's work here, just highlighting these
Yeah.
projects. That's pretty cool. Is it going to be one of those voiceover videos where you're talking about something that has like the hype clips and shows you using the product and stuff?
Yeah. We have some demos. We have the clips just talking with the Meta Collective, and maybe they have a good ability to edit the videos
Yeah.
of very good. And the other things that are still working is integrate X402. How to mention it? About
X402.
the
Yeah.
microservices.
Agent to
So
agent payments. Tell us about that. Tell us about that.
all right. So when you use JTVO, you still need to get the APIs, right? So you put our APIs inside the JTVO, so you can use inside your agentic apps. Let's say you make a trading agent or something. You still need the API case from the JTVO. But when we use these microservices, you don't need API anymore. You just call out our server and will be verified inside the facilitator of the X402, and it will be like a microservices. It's literal pay per use. Is GTVO is actually pay per use, but you still have to top up the credits. But when we implement this kind of tag from the client base, you don't need really to top up. You don't need really the authentication. I don't need your email. I don't need to know who you are. You just hit our server and it will serve your request with this small fraction of cost.
That's fascinating. Tell us a bit about the token. Obviously, you have the JTVO token. We're off a little pump. Whether that's from some news you've been putting out, whether that's from coming on the show, like whatever it is, you're off a little pump here. Tell us about the token. How does it accrue value from you building? Like it's really nice to see those metrics. I love that website you showed us to show that you are scaling and people are using the platform and burning those tokens or using those tokens. How does the JTVO token tie into this?
We had when many people talking, hey, don't talk about the price, but I try to value the holders. I try to make the narratives comes in that very similar or the aligned with the project. So we had a little pump early this month. It went to 1.2 million US market cap, and just today it pumped maybe 50% because I think there are several whales that anticipating about this integration with the microservices.
Okay, so but as for lesser on the price of JTVO, what's the utility behind it? Will I be able to use JTVO to pay for the platform? Is it tied to equity in the company? Like, what is your vision for the JTVO token?
Right. The main utility, I still try to connect it into GPU marketplace. So we are developing our GPU marketplace when you want to upload your own models inside our GPUs. You will need JTVO to pay for it. There is a lot of services from the Ethereum blockchain. There is a lot of projects like that, but it is pretty similar, but it's very easy to use. The difference is in there. So it is the JTVO will be used for the payment, and maybe it's for some discount on it. But that token consumption, if you click that stats just in the stats to back in the analytics, the users that use a lot of tokens, they must hold around maybe 1 million JTVO tokens. So it is kind of I incentivize you when you hold the tokens from the fees that we collected. So it is it's free to use for you when you hold our token. The bear cost will be you will get free use because we subsidize you from the fees that we collected from the belief fees.
Okay, that checks out. When you think about this growth, you're seeing the growth. I guess my question here as we kind of wrap is what can you continue to do to see more growth like you're seeing? What can you continue to do to grow this platform, get this product out in people's hands? What's your next steps in that regard?
The the adoption of people want to use this platform is we need to prove that hey, these APIs of this product it can be implemented in this use case. Let's say I showed you about the like the cursor. Then another thing is JTVO.ai/automation. Can you open it, Josh? So it is kind of agentic builder. Let's say you want to make automation when you chat in Telegram or WhatsApp. You want to AI process behind the scene. It is a kind of no code workflow builders. It is one of the. It is just a drag and drop. You can choose the models. You can build anything. You can let's say you want to make automation to pause and grab into YouTube or Instagram. You just type inside the Telegram, the AI will process behind the scene and will upload automatically like that. So how to push the adoption is we need to prove that the use case is a lot on it.
Okay, cool. Josh,
This is
any
a really cool website, little working thing
if
here.
if this being a standalone project, I believe it is a standalone one startup for it. But instead of making a June project, I try to compile it into this whole ecosystem. It is very important to make a whole one ecosystem. is you can open it in agent.jtvo.ai for to log in. I think there is a miss in the website.
All good. Yeah, yeah.
Agent.jtvo.ai.
Luca, I'll tell you, man, you're a very impressive developer. You've created a lot of things here, and it feels like, and seeing your tokens being used, up to 260 million tokens, that's impressive. Um, keep definitely keep working on this stuff. Something is going to stick. You are going to hit on something that generates real value. And I just, I see that you're offering really good services at cheaper, and I think that's really noble. But do try and make sure you're finding the right price to charge too, because sometimes you can charge too less for things, right? That you don't create any value for yourself or your business. There always is a market price, and maybe it's more on the enterprise side where you find out like what are people willing to pay for things rather than, can I just get the lowest cost in front of someone that they'll buy it. I think people are, at least if you're offering these services in certain areas, are less price sensitive. But, I want to see you drive real revenue through this thing, because I feel like you're I don't know, one of the best founders that we've seen in ICM in terms of just your ability to spin experiments up and try new things. So, I'm glazing you a bit, but like something will stick, Luca. You will hit something here, and it's it's going to be impressive.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
I can add to that, Josh, too. I had 4 calls with Luca, maybe like over the last month or two, and one of my biggest takeaways was that Luca was grinding all the time, all day. I can really say this from a personal experience. Luca is a real deal grinder. Like, he was working all day, every day, getting things done, building. We talked about something on one of our calls, and I think it was something about prediction markets. And Luca spun up a prediction market news aggregator in like an hour. It was pretty crazy. So, like, truly from a dev ability, Luca is
Yeah.
next level. And this is not just a shill from us, but it is a truth. I think Josh is right. You're going to have something that sticks. And keep going.
Yeah, thank you for the feedback, because I experienced it in several project that I saw when you build something that just one products, when all just ship already launched, there is no room for the improvement. But when we build this ecosystem from the infrastructure, from the labs, from the products, we have a growth for room. Moreover, when the open source model always comes in with the new or the latest updates. Like, say, the 3 days ago, DeepSeek just launched it, and Andres Karpathy from the ex Tesla or ex AI or from the OpenAI is comment about, hey, it is a very great product from the DeepSeek, and I tried to put it inside my GPU. All right, it's running well, and it can save up to 80% of cost compared with you process your documents using third-party APIs, and it can be used for the enterprise client with the secure one. And I think maybe I do a lot of this update because on my daily basis, on my daily businesses, it's pretty useful. I mean, I use this every day when I meet my clients. So I build this. It's not only from the ICM token, but it is for real startup businesses. And we have a lot of talk with the venture capital on the investment. And that what I seek is the ecosystem. So when the venture capital want to invest in, I make sure that they already have the ecosystem that want to adopt this existing product. So because let's say just I grinding because not only because of this token, but because my daily basis or this my daily business every day.
I think on that note too is it's your daily business. You're constantly iterating, putting new things into this. You have to be on top of AI. You're probably one of the brightest AI minds we've spoken to. And like with that, I think you kind of get in this position where you're so locked in, you almost get into a chasing position. And I think like the best thing for you is rather than chasing new metas or new trends that you see pop up every day because you're so tapped in, it's positioning for the next one, right? So you've obviously seen X402 and you probably thought that was really cool. Like the best play here would have been positioning an X402 because you have the vision and the foresight to see that that's going to be huge, implemented, and successful rather than chasing. And so I would love to see JTVO and you, Luca, find a few things that you really think are going to be the future of AI and just start positioning now rather than chasing, because I do think that you have some really good, really cool stuff here. And Josh made a great point earlier. It's like you have to find that balance of pricing in these countries that are maybe more, like Josh said, more price sensitive. You can make it really cheap, but in the countries, let's take like an Armani shirt, for example. If Armani sold a shirt for $300, and then that same shirt was sold in a Walmart for $5, people would look at that and say, well, I actually don't value that shirt enough just because of the price being $5. Yeah. Nothing actually fundamentally changes, but they associate cheap with not good, right? So there's a balance where it's like you got to keep it cheap, but also keep people understanding there's a lot of value here. So Josh made a great point there.
Yeah, I agree. I also agree.
Sweet.
Look, Luca, we want to keep in touch. If things are starting to work for you, whether it's things you're making money on something's really sticking, getting traction, just ping us, let us know. You can come back on anytime. We believe in you as a builder, more importantly than anything. Look, we're not AI engineers, so some of the stuff that you're doing is like a little over our heads. While we understand kind of the fundamentals, our job really is to translate what you're telling us on stream to something people can potentially get exposure to by either holding the JTVO token or becoming a customer or whatever, right? So let's stay in touch, and we'll have you on in maybe a few months if something's really clicking. So.
And one thing I want to do, Luca, to close here, just so we're all on the same page, can you give us an ecosystem overview, just off the top? What is part of the JTVO ecosystem? What do you guys have? What do you guys offer? Maybe just close us out there so we're all on the same page and everyone knows what you guys offer.
All right. So the one word for the JTVO, one sentence. JTVO is Neo Clouds for AI. We are hosting open source LLM models with 80% cheaper and 5 times faster than OpenAI. We host GPT-OSS, we host Alibaba QN, GLM 4.6, Kimi K2 from the Moonshot, DeepSeek, and MetaLlama. And we build the APIs when you can connect your apps into our APIs. So when you switch from the GPT-5 to the JTVO APIs, you can save up to 80% cost.
Boom. Just like that. Luca, thanks for coming on, brother. We're excited to watch your journey. Like Josh said, we're super impressed in you as a builder, and keep doing it.
I want to show up when the integration with X402 already done. I want to show the video. Maybe
let's
just
do it.
Yep. Yeah. All right, sweet brother. We'll talk soon.
Have a good night, Luca.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I think he articulated the vision of JTVO much better on this call than he did in the last one.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the first time he was on our show, I had no idea. It was kind of like just get it all out there, and I just had no idea what he was doing. But well, I'll just pull up the chart here. I mean,
can you
obviously?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, when did we put out the announcement we were having JTVO on? I'm curious if this is correlated here with.
It is, of course. The MCG pump is a real phenomenon. But here's, I mean, huge euphoria. Every belief chart kind of looks like this. And then, I think founders start to figure out their business. He's only made like $500-600 on the tokens that he's done. So I kind of want him to try different pricing points, like try and expand that revenue. Because if that $500-600 a month goes to like $5,000 a month, like this is a different conversation. This company is creating or generating real revenue, especially if he ties that back to the token. But yeah, I mean, Dom, what time was it?
I can pull up the exact tweet. I don't know. Did we announce? No, we didn't announce our Friday show.
No, we didn't announce it till like yesterday, I think.
Let's see. Yeah, it's lining up. We saw this with Orgo too earlier. It's starting to be. We almost need to not announce the calls beforehand,
Yeah.
just so people don't like front run it. Okay, yeah,
Give
we
us,
announced
guys,
that
give us
22
some
hours
feedback
ago.
on that too. Like, should we? It's kind of hard though, because like people want to tune in for specific things. Like, should we just announce everyone who's coming on the show that week, but don't announce a time and date, and you just got to show up to MCG from 12 or whatever?
The
Like, that
schedule's
might
like the
be.
schedule is almost necessary. Like, let's be real, you guys aren't gonna just tune in for every stream, or most of you. Some of you will, like the
Yeah.
goats, like Andrew. But obviously you want to know who you're tuning in for, so it's difficult. But clearly everything literally is getting front ran. Which I don't know. Is that I don't know if that's a bad thing necessarily, but
Hey Andrew, sorry, I think we missed this question. Apologies.
we're
Feel
using a new
free.
platform.
Yeah, feel free to just ping JTVO on the side. I don't know if he addressed that. My bad.
He's very responsive. No, we didn't cover that, but yeah. Yeah,
Is it? Can we
Rec is
cover
live.
this? Yeah, let's
Yes.
cover that.
Are we gonna keep the stream going for the Videothon, or are we going
Yeah,
to?
it's in the title. It's in the title.
Okay, cool. Well, maybe
Yeah.
please message that chat, because I told them we weren't. But for clarification, let me pull up the ETF, which is awesome. We got Rec coming on here shortly. Actually, perfect timing because of this ETF.
I'll
They
give
just
it a
launched.
clean retweet. Hey, it pays to be locked into MCG. Of course, it pays to be locked into MCG. Like weed is running, guys. Weed is running. We crushed Pay AI. You know, even Avicii. Like just winners. What's this, Dom? Pull this up.
This is the Rec ETF. This represents. Okay, so firstly, the Rec ETF, and you know what? Let me pull up Collat, because this will explain a little bit better. Share this tab. Okay, so basically, Collat, in partnership with Rec, launched a collateralized token, and very interesting model that Collat's doing here. They have these Collat tokens, right? And what it means is they have physical collateral value, and then a token to represent that. In this case here, this is the Rec ETF, and the Rec ETF will get a portion of each of the properties or hand selected properties that Rec decides to put into this ETF. And of course, as those properties go up in value, as they churn revenue, as they generate cash, that'll flow back to ETF holders. So it's really cool. This is like the first on-chain ETF that we're kind of seeing, and it's super interesting. And so the profits flow back into holders' hands, just like a normal ETF. I will read some token information. Let's see. So CRETF represents a spot within Rec's private sale. It grants a 5% discount during the pre-sale of Rec's ETF. Okay. So you can buy this. So the ETF private sale is going to go live for Rec, and that means you can buy basically this Rec ETF. And this represents a spot within Rec's private sale. It guarantees a 5% discount during the pre-sale of Rec's ETF. This is a utility token designed to represent access to a $25,000 private sale allocation in our upcoming real estate ETF. So what's being said here is holding the token, it'll probably be pro rata. We'll get up to $25,000 share in the ETF, right? That's the value here. Private sale allocation in our upcoming real estate ETF details 5% entry, discount 30 to 35% APY. This is what the ETF entails. So you get a 5% entry discount. 30 to 35% APY yield is what is expected for this ETF. And this is vested after 6 months. So it is a vested ETF. Utility-based access to Rex ETF. All trading fees from the Collat coin will go towards buybacks between this ETF and the Rec token. Okay, so all trading fees. That's pretty cool. That's really interesting. How is Collat making money off of that? All trading fees from the collateral coin will go towards buybacks, 50-50 split between the ETF, to this ETF right here, the collateral coin, and then the Rec token. So this is a value accrual mechanism for Rec, actually. This partnership combines collateralized launchpad infrastructure with Rec's on-chain real estate yield engine to push the limits of what's possible in tokenized finance on Solana. So yeah, let me pull up the token again.
And then we gotta check out the Rec chart too.
Oops.
Screen share and Dom.
Screen share and Dom, brother. Let's see. Boom. Okay, so there you are. That's what it's looking like on the 15-second. Really nice trend. It bonded in like 2 minutes, so it happened pretty quick.
So how do you track? Do they have the nav of this anywhere?
I'm sure someone will track that at some point. I'm not entirely sure.
Because we've seen a lot of these
Yeah,
collateral tokens that are listed on Collat trade way from like really far from their nav, which it's so tough. Like it's hard because it's anchored in something that's physically valuable. So I'm
Yeah.
just, I don't know, I'm kind of interested in how people value these things, but Rack on Fire. Yeah,
Well,
I
we're gonna
mean,
have them on. Let me see. Let's really take a second real quick and see what we got, because we got this Get Foundry competition here starting in 10 minutes, which
yeah,
will be really fun.
I'm excited to look at some AI videos for once.
I know, right? So let's see. Let's coordinate. Should we get Lewis in here to coordinate?
Yeah, I will get links sent. Well, congrats, Rack and Collad, on this. I think this is the beginning of a huge journey, and I know Viva is involved too. I think their assets are in this ETF. So,
Yeah, but that's yes.
I mean, all friends of the stream, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, Rec. If you pull up Rec real quick while I do that, it looks like it's in an interesting buy spot.
Yeah, look at Weed. Weed is pumping, by the way. Shout out Josh on that call.
Yeah, shout out Josh on Weed, to be honest.
You can't shout yourself out. That's not how this works. You can't in the third person shout out Josh. Shout out Josh on Weed. Yeah, no, but yeah, actually shout out. That was a good call. Yeah, this is an interesting spot here. We're in this range. I think if RWA gets its shine, Rec leads. Like Rec leads. That's how I see it. I really do believe that. They're making great moves. It's been a while since we've had them on the show, but like every time we have them on, they talk about these big companies that they're working with, people that are lined up. They have good properties ready to go. They're working with Viva on this winery, which they dropped an insane video the other day on just the revenue generation that this winery is going to do and how cool it is. Yeah, this is an interesting spot. I don't know. I would say 1.6 mil is probably a pretty interesting bet, especially considering. Well, let's see. This ETF has done $1 million in 24-hour volume. So I'm not sure what that equates to, but 50% is going to buy back this token. So there will be some buy pressure there. Oh, they've begun as we say this. The buybacks have begun. I'll share this tab, and I think Lewis is going to join here any second to just help coordinate before we kick this off. But yeah, so look at that swap, 3,000 SOL for the ETF. Okay, there we go.
Whoa, 3,000 SOL?
Oh, $3,000 in Solana.
Yeah,
Sorry.
okay.
That's 16 SOL. 16 SOL. Imagine. They just swap this thing up. Yeah, so this is in the ETF. This is non-rack token. I guess they would also have an equivalent $3,168 going to a rack token here, either momentarily or it's already happened.
Oh, bet. I think Rec people are joining this, by the way. Yo, sick.
Shout out rack, man.
Shout
yeah,
out
so
Rack,
it looks
man.
like they haven't done the twop into rack yet. So I'm not saying go in front run the $3,000 buy. It's not going to do much for the chart here, but looks like they haven't twopped that yet.
I mean, it looks like it's in a bottom of a range-ish. So not a bad. Like, do you think this is if you don't have exposure to this might be a DCA area, or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, look,
or is it kind of wait and see?
No, I don't think it's wait and see. I think it's if you believe that we're going to have an RWA season at some point, you can bid rec and sit here, and your average can be 1.6 mil right here. Maybe you get lower and you can get an average of 1 mil. Maybe you buy at the top here. I think all this ranges are pretty much irrelevant here because we haven't seen a RWA season. And I think the natural thing is just like we saw X402 today, and I'll use PayAI as an example here. Right, just like we saw X402 pick up today, that's when PayAI decided to candle. It's at $20 million market cap. I mean, this thing was at 4 or 5 mil the other day. All it takes is being positioned, bro. All it takes is a meta to shift. Yeah, right.
Yo, what? 20
crazy.
mil. Look at that candle, dude. Holy.
That's a candle. I wonder what does this mean for Avicii? Let's see. Not to shift. Yeah, so Avicii's candling too.
Yeah, but Avicii's it does have an X402 narrative angle.
I think so. Not nearly as much as PayI, the like
Yeah.
X402 leader here.
Yo,
which
shout out PayI community. Y'all
they
are
rock.
like have
They rock.
been believers, and now you're getting paid on this.
And so that's my point though. It's like we're getting the X402 meta. Same thing will happen if we get an RWA meta. They're gonna go to the leaders, right? Rec is a leader in that. It just simply isn't the RWA meta. So like me saying bidding Rec here, I can't even say if that's a good idea or not because it's fully dependent on if the meta shifts. If the meta shifts there, yeah, like it's a great bid if you're willing to hold and just sit on it until that meta comes around. So the bet here is less on Rec. Obviously, we're very bullish Rec. I love Rec. I love what they're doing. Bullish AL, bullish whole team. But the bet is this will do really well if RWA has its shine. If RWA doesn't have its shine, it's probably going to continue to trend. The downside is probably not that much, especially with the ETF involved and the value accrual back to the token. So yeah, it's probably a good RR to start a DCA here, to be honest. But so like that's the play. That's the play. Do we get a rotation to RWA? If we do, there's no doubt in my mind Rec is top 1 or 2 when it comes to leaders. It's right there. Rec and Collat are like the two. So that's your bet. I think like this is part of the natural ICM progression here. It's, making these typically a liquid financial assets liquid, and Rec is kind of leading that. So I think, yes, it probably gets a bid, whether it's sooner or later. That's my answer.
Cool. Well,
do we have Lewis in here?
AI. We have Lewis in here. Let's bring him up. Lewis, what's up?
Hello, can you hear me?
We can.
Dude.
Welcome.
Oh, that's nice.
We can. We're excited. This is like not our typical stream. We're like, go, interview. We finally get to relax, lay back, and just, check out some cool stuff.
Yeah.
You wanna like debrief a little bit before we get into it? We're starting here shortly. Anything we need to do from our end? I know we got this link. We were gonna start a new stream, but this one's already got viewers, so we might as well just keep this going.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, I'm gonna put out a fresh tweet for this. So
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna list all the sponsors and stuff, so everyone can join in, and you guys can retweet a fresh tweet.
Oh, okay. I thought, okay. I was unsure if like there would be like a pause in the stream, so I already tweeted something. I reposted your stream.
Oh, good.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, it's happening here, so you're good. Yeah.
Wait, so how do I restream this to my site? Do I need to log in?
Yeah, how does that work on
Yes, so that might be a challenge. To be fair, we were on Restream, but then Restream had the AWS outage this week. So then we switched to StreamYard, and I don't know how to. I don't think you can do that in StreamYard that I've seen. So apologies on that. I didn't even.
Let me just try. Let me just see if I can try doing it real quick.
Yeah, see if you can figure it out. We have a couple minutes here.
Okay.
So we'll get it figured out.
Log in real quick.
Yeah, I'll let you lock in for a little while, then we'll ask about how the stream's gonna flow, what people can expect. We got 50 salamis to be given away here. So if you guys submitted stuff to the Rec or to the Get Foundry video competition, you have a pretty good shot at making some pretty good money here, which is exciting. And again, this is like we just talked about Rec, but we'll have Rec coming on. We have Avo coming on. We have Stockholm. We have some really great judges joining us as well. So this is going to be fun. There we go. So there we go. We got Avo and A1.
Yeah, how's it going?
Hey, guys.
Chilling, man. Chilling. What's up, A1?
What's up?
How's it going? You guys, A1, the team at Rec's probably buzzing right now. This has been a pretty nice launch for the ETF collaboration with Collat, huh?
Yeah, it went really well. It's going well. I think we just started doing buybacks on that coin. So yeah, like half the fees are going back into that coin, half the fees are going back into the actual $Rec token. So definitely don't want to jump the gun here, but we definitely got some more stuff planned with Collat in the future. We're definitely really aligned and
it's awesome.
Bringing kind of the RWA side of ICM up.
Love it.
How does this work? Let me see if I can stream. I don't know how to stream this.
I mean, we have options too. If we want to, we could probably end the stream, go to restream, and start a new one. It's it would just be your call, Lewis, right? You have the
Yeah, I think that's it, because everyone's watching on Foundry as well. Like, I have my community all excited. And
Okay, cool.
If it's yeah.
I'll
that'd be great.
spin up restream right now, and I'll send you guys the link. So we're gonna take a 2-minute
Awesome.
intermission, everyone.
Sweet.
All right, we'll be back.
Sounds good.